Guys, so we are back in another podcast with my good friend of mine, Kevin. Thank you so much for coming down.
Welcome.
How long was it?
Just shy of 3 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah, we're a nice clear drive, no traffic. So
Yeah, especially with
yeah,
weekends,
little nice. Yeah, it was nice to. I'll tell you what. I was just saying to you before we started this. I'm driving into Lamington Spa in the centre. It's absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful place. Yeah, really nice. It's impressive as you drive in. I've never been before. It's really impressive.
Yeah, and Lamington I think that was voted for the best town in the Midlands.
Right.
Yeah, 2023.
I can imagine.
Lamington, really good. Place and really nice and quiet. I like that.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, definitely.
And you know what I was discussing with Diksha and Trace? So I was discussing about you driving all the way from 3 hours. Normal people didn't do that.
Yeah.
And I told them that that's the difference between someone who wants to do something, someone come up with excuses. I can't do it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And some people have said to me, people I work with as well, and they've just said, what are you driving down to Coventry, to Lamington or Coventry or Birmingham or wherever it is you're going for? And it's like, well, I like to do it. I like to speak to people. Yeah. I like to help people. I like to do what we're doing. And it's a small world, is a property world that we're in.
Exactly.
So yeah, when somebody asks you to do something, take the opportunity to do
exactly.
it.
Yeah, that's the reason actually. That's the reason I'm focusing on traveling around the UK as well, doing a podcast and bringing guests on the podcast and sharing the knowledge like what we are doing today. So give us a little background about you, Kevin, so that viewers can understand who you are, and in future if they need your help and service they can contact you. I'll put your social media in the description as well.
Yeah, perfect. So my name's Kevin Wood. I'm based in the Leeds Bradford area, so up in West Yorkshire. Mm-hmm. And I'm a builder by trade, bricklayer by trade. I own a construction company up that way.
Okay.
We started this company, this brand that we've got, HBD now. We started in 2018. It's been a roller coaster of a ride since.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Up and down. Yeah, we've had partner fallouts. We've had customers, when the COVID struck, COVID cancellations and things like that. Yeah. But all in all, it's been a really good journey. As businesses in general, isn't it? It's never a straight path. But yeah, I came into this industry, as construction industry, many years ago. It's just over 20 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And my uncle was I would rate him probably one of the best bricklayers I've ever seen, and he was a brick baron, and they're basically in charge of all the brickies on a big site.
Okay.
And he's built things like he worked on the Bull Ring in Birmingham, Telford Football Stadium, the prison over that way, and he's worked up and down the country. He now resides abroad, pretty much retired doing serviced accommodation.
Okay.
The Jeets over there. and he taught me my trade. I went to live with him in France for probably, I think it was about 18 months on and off.
Mm. Is that how you got started?
That's how,
Right.
I'd been a labourer and things like that.
Yeah.
And my uncle just said, no, come on, you can do better than that. And, and he taught me the trade. And then when I came back from France in 2003, so that's 20 years ago, I came back and just hit the ground running with the trade, and I've learned ever since all the little do's and don'ts in construction.
I think which is very important, isn't it? If you know what you're doing and someone to guide you, it's more easy for you to do that task.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. I mean, they call it mentorship. Mm. Well, back then, or certainly in my trade as a bricklayer, a mentorship is just the main brickie teaching you your trade. Mm-hmm. So you're an apprentice and he's a trade. Yeah. But they are mentors at the end of the day. And he's probably the only one I've actually had in all my time. Yeah. And I love him for it. Luckily, he's my family.
Yeah. Okay.
My uncle, but yeah, it's been a nice journey. It's been a nice journey.
Interesting. At the moment, like you have a team.
Yes.
So how many members you have team?
So we have a team of it's now 3 permanent people, and then we have subcontractors with 20-30 people if we need to.
Yeah.
But what we've found over the years is we've kind of whittled down a team of probably 60-70 contractors down to a handful of really good ones. Yeah. The plasterers we use regularly, the electrician we use a lot on every job pretty much, plumbers, joiners and things like that.
Yeah.
So we've kind of developed a team within a team, but they're not in-house with us.
Yeah, but they're working with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how comfortable you feel? Let's say, for example, you need a plasterer.
Yep.
Right. So the one you are using is busy.
Yes.
How confident you feel to use a new one?
So,
because that will come down to your reputation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the thing, I get asked things like this quite a lot, where it's like, how do you know that the next one's going to be just as good?
Yes.
Well, the answer is really, unless you go and look at their work, you tend to don't. So plaster is a perfect example. You can go look at a newly plastered wall and think, oh, that looks all right, that. And when it's painted, it looks completely different. You can completely tell the difference between a good plasterer and a bad plasterer. One looks like the moon and one looks like glass. But yeah, just go, because I've got years and years of experience, I know, rubbing your hand over the wall and things like that, you'd be able to feel. So go have a look at the work. Have a look at the work finished. And in terms of confidence in getting the next guy in, you've just got to take that risk and gamble. 9 times out of 10 we use guys that's been recommended, or we've been watching their work on social media or something like that and go, actually I won't mind working with them. This is how we got the new plasterer, sticking to plasterers. So we've got a new team of plasterers now, and they were literally just posting rendering jobs in the summer, social media.
Wow, yeah.
And I've seen their vans around. That work looks pretty good. And then what I'll do is, because they work local, I'll know where they're working because I'll recognise the house or the street, and I'll purposely drive past and check. But like rendering, I'll check when the sun's coming down, so the shadowing and stuff. It's flat that. And then we just literally rang them up and just said, I've got a job for you, don't come and price it. They came. I mean, I'm talking about the plasterers again. They came and absolutely smashed the job out. Perfect, really quick. Not one single complaint from the decorator, which were amazing. And like, right, okay, you're our new plasterer now. And then, if we've got multiple jobs on, either they grow with us, or we'll just go to another one and have two teams of tradesmen on at the same time. Yeah.
So there's a really good point you covered, saying that you go and see the work.
Yes.
That's the advice. Something, if you're new in property with the builder side, you need to go and check the work.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because there's a lot of people like doing checker trade, and they're getting reviews.
Yeah.
Fine, brilliant. The reviews tend to be genuine reviews.
Yeah.
But like certain people say, the top 3, top 5 are always busy. They're always busy, and they're always the high end of costs. So the lower end ones, I'm not saying go to the bottom, and you won't do that because there's a reason they're at the bottom half of the time. In the middle of the range, there's probably not as much in terms of social media advertising, or putting pictures on, or Facebook posts, because no disrespect to it, but they're a one-man band. They want to go, they get the job done, and they get paid and go on. And I didn't take a picture. They'll just get on with the next job. So I mean, just look at the work. Definitely look at the work. I know we're sticking to plasterers on that, but bricklayers, plasterers, joiners, go see if they're any good, and they're proud of what they've done. They're willing to show you. Definitely. If they're not going to show you, it's because it's probably not the best of jobs. You know what I mean?
That's an indication as well.
Absolutely. I mean, for us, years and years, we are advertised for years and years and years, and we don't have to, because it's recommendations. Whether it's come from our architect, previous client, somebody seeing us on social media. Even social media is a recommendation in such, because they're going to put on, does anybody know this guy at HPD?
In this area.
Before you know it, we've used them, or no, my cousin, sister, auntie's used them, brilliant. And it's come in recommendations via somebody else. But this day and age, social media is probably, like you said earlier, one of the biggest things in the world.
Yes, exactly. So with the social media, I want to discuss with you as well. So you see, especially with the social media, right? The people, they say like, oh, this is for young generation, this is not for me. What do you want to say about the social media? Yeah,
so I'm not one of the young generation anymore. I'm the generation that's social media was introduced to, and for years I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this. And up until a couple of years ago, I was like just posting it and just watching sport, or admiring cars and nice things and stuff like that, and just looking at it for that sort of reason, and being nosy. And then before I know it, I'm like, post a picture. Oh, all right, hi, how are we doing? We need a builder. Oh, hi, how are we doing? Can you help me? And just doing that, and it's only been the last probably 6 months that I've really knuckled down and thought, right, well, let's start posting stuff. Started a little YouTube channel. YouTube channels are brilliant, but unfortunately for me and our team, we're that busy working,
You need someone to. Yeah, you need someone.
If we could have a camera crew following us around every day, we probably won't be able to show half of the stuff with the banter that we have on site.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be amazing because you could actually make a documentary about builders on site with a camera crew following us around.
Yeah.
And it'll show the the do's and the don'ts and the things that happen that shouldn't happen. Typical example: I put a new pipe in the other day.
Yeah.
I put the pipe in, water pipe, and then I went to do some more digging and pulled the pipe back out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I put it in, I knew it was there, but accidents happen.
Yeah.
We put that on film and people love it because they like to see the disasters.
Exactly. And especially you post like one of your mate as well, you post, are you happy, are you angry?
Yeah,
like
so we
that.
got angry labourer, yeah. So we're another. So Jay, the angry labourer, he's worked for us for years. He's worked with me.
Is he always angry?
More or less, yeah. Yeah, more or less.
Any reason for that?
No, it's just how he is. It's just how he is. But we do wind him up. But don't get me wrong, he gives us it as good as he gets it.
Yeah.
But when we were filming the angry labourer sections on the YouTube channel, we purposely wound him up more on purpose so he'd bite. But he's angry all the time, to be fair. Unless it's on a Friday when he gets paid. He's very happy then.
Yeah. There's a moral there.
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, I mean, social media, it's opened me up to a world of this property world I didn't know existed 2 years ago. Meeting people like yourself and other people that I've been invited to talk on stage. I've been invited to talk at seminars and things like that, and it's like, I would have never have done that had it been.
And that's also social media.
Social media,
exactly.
Absolutely social media, and I will progress more and more with social media. I do my own stuff.
Yeah.
I used a guy, you actually introduced me to him, who did social media for a while, and then I had to pull away from him because I didn't have enough stuff to send him because we were so busy. So then what I do is I make little clips, and then on a night when I've got a spare 10-15 minutes, just edit them. I bang it on, I'll do stories and lives, or not lives, but things like that, and do it that way. And I find it easier. But what you don't get is you don't get the full picture of what goes on behind the scenes. Social media is great for showing people the good stuff. And I think a lot of people do just show the good. Cars, houses, clothes, Dubai, all this sort of thing. Whereas they've really worked and struggled to get them things in the first place. They don't show that, and I think social media should definitely show more of that.
Yeah, I think the reason people show all the good stuff is because that's something people are interested in. Yeah. And what I want to say is, like, in terms of social media, what people say is normally this is for young generation. We don't know how to use. I would like to take example of car. You didn't know how to drive a car immediately when you said car.
Absolutely.
You took the lesson, then you drive it. That's I think similar with social media. You need to just learn, adapt it, or you're gonna die with the business.
I listened to somebody the other day, and I can't remember it well that said it, and they said you didn't know how to do anything until you started. You didn't know how to talk, you didn't know how to walk, you didn't know how to feed.
Exactly.
And it's step by step. So it's the same with anything. Social media, young people know it because they're born into it these days. Us, my generation certainly didn't know it. We're learning it step by step. And every single day is a lesson.
Exactly.
Every single day.
People, I think, embarrassed what others are going to say. The hate comments are big because there will be the hate comments. You have to pay the price, isn't it? And like I said, I was in an event, right, in peak performance, and what they said is, haters are your best friend. Because they are the first person to watch the video, right, and comment. And once they comment, that video will reach out to more audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to a friend of mine actually, and she said the same. She said there was some backlash on one of her posts. And I think it was something like a mortgage post or something like that, buying a property for this much, and this is the profit at the end of it. And they must have said something along the lines of, well, you hadn't told us about all the do's and don'ts and, the extra expenses and things like that. And to be fair to her, she was like, there's haters. I said, yeah, they are, perfect. That's exactly what you want.
Exactly.
Because they're telling everybody else what you're doing, and then one of their friends, is going to go, well, he's talking rubbish, she's talking sense, and follow her, and then it just generates and generates and generates. And haters, nobody likes haters, and if you are not weak-minded, but if you are one of them people that take it on board and take the hate for what it is, then you're not going to do it for very long.
Exactly, You're not going to do anything, you're just going to stay quiet.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. No, embrace it, carry on.
Yeah.
I find it ridiculously awkward sometimes. Like I can film what we're doing, jobs and stuff like that, but talking in front of a camera, you know, it's uncomfortable. It's not normal for me especially. And it's like, oh, and then lads will take me while I'm on site doing it, but they've kind of got used to it now. So it's like, you know, doing his bloody video again. But then when it's on social media and we're getting more work from it, it's doing its job. So you've got to embrace the uncomfortableness of it.
Exactly.
And it's still very uncomfortable for me, but and more I'm getting to it.
I mean, with the social media, like I say, you are everywhere. You're doing Zoom, you're doing podcasts, you're going to seminars. Right? How that is helping with in the business side?
It helps with the business because it's recognition. Like I said, our business is more recommendations. However, last week or the week before, I went to a Steve Hamilton event in Liverpool, and I went all the way to Liverpool to meet a guy that lives 20 minutes away from me, and showed me a job for a new build house that he wants building. So I'm now going to price a job up for and I had to go to Liverpool to get that. But I would have done that, one, if it wants social media, and two, if it wants for networking. And so has it helped? Yeah, because he wouldn't have known who I was if I had not been in them circles and in that environment.
Exactly.
So yes, it has helped. But it doesn't help every single day because we rely on recommendations as opposed to new people coming in from outside of our area and things like that. But yeah, recognition is amazing, absolutely. And you know, people will see our vans and they'll post on social media, just seen your van go past, and I only know them from social media, so it's you know, it's recognition, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I couldn't agree more, because that's how we connected in the social media.
Yeah, of course. I won't know you now.
And every time, like for example, you have helped me out as well. When there was an issue with the renovation, I messaged you. Kevin, this is the problem. What's the solution? How can we do it? And every time you have helped me out, I appreciate that.
Okay.
And I will leave your Instagram account, social media account link down below, and people can directly contact you for advice and anything, especially the newbie. So what advice would you like to give the newbie who are entering the property world?
So the newbies, there's so many different aspects to a newbie in this world. So I'm 20 odd years in this construction industry, but I'm a newbie in terms of as an investor. So you know, there's lots of different aspects to a newbie. When we say newbie, I see it as somebody that's quite young, coming in with a little bit of money, a little bit of knowledge in property. They want to go, right, I want to be a property developer, or I want to be, you know, in the BRR strategy or flips, or I want to be a landlord. 2 years ago, I would have said, absolute tosh, don't do what I'm saying I'm going to do now. But you need to be around and you need to be educated by the people that actually know what they're doing. Not the ones that stand up and do a seminar after seminar after seminar and have somebody else do the work. Learn it from somebody that's physically either doing it with the hands or is literally on site every day or every other day, or doing you know, doing what they say they do. So definitely get educated. I'm not saying spend tens of thousands of pounds on courses. YouTube's free. You know, social media's free. Follow them. Like you just said, somebody will send you a message. I'm struggling with this. Is there any chance you can help me? Do that to 20 different people. You're going to get an average of answers. You know, if you don't want to do the education route and you don't want to be hands-on and stuff like that, just take the average answer and work with that. But as a newbie, you've got to look around you and see what other people are doing.
Who are doing it.
And do it that way. You know, even if it's not, I'm not saying copycat it, do your version of that. And even for me, like I'm 40 odd year old now, I'm looking at some people out there who are now friends in this property world, and it's like, why haven't I done that? Why haven't I done it? You know, I'm a newbie in terms of investment. You know, I've got to pick a strategy that works. I know BRRs inside out. I know flips inside out. I know developments. I've done them for years and years. I've done them. But being a landlord and borrowing money, and being, you know, from investors and banks and things like that, something I've not done is something I'm going to do, and I have the confidence and the expertise behind me.
Exactly.
To take their money, run with it, make them a profit, and give them it back and build. So I'm on with that, you know, process. But as a newbie, just get around the people, get around the environment, get yourself educated. You know, speak to as many people as you can. Go to the networking events. Some of them are free. Some of them are 20 quid. Some of them are 40 quid. To be fair, it's nothing to drop.
Yeah, exactly. People see the price, they miss the opportunity.
Yeah.
They meet new people. They're gonna learn new things. They're gonna literally, if you meet someone, let's say for example, if someone new beginners meets you in the property investor seminar or events, you're gonna give him in 5 or 10 minutes your lesson of 10, 20 years of lesson, advice, and that's gonna change his life, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing with us that have got the knowledge as well is we've made so many mistakes. And that they don't need to, because they should be learning from our mistakes. You know, whether it's me as a builder, you as an investor, or you know, people that do developments, they've all made mistakes, and costly mistakes. So we should be teaching them not to make them mistakes. And ask the question, guys. Ask the question. Come back to us. Say, I've done this. You know, you did it this way and lost money. I've done it this way and not lost money. Brilliant. Absolutely, they're educated then.
Exactly.
So definitely for newbies, just get around it, get amongst it, get around it, and learn from other people's mistakes.
100%. And maybe even visit the project. See what they're doing, how that is done. Ask them question when you're in the project. You'll understand how everything's going on.
Absolutely. There's elements to construction that you should be involved in as a newbie. You know, I'm not saying you need to be there when the plasterers are skimming the wall, because you're probably not going to learn to skim and plaster a wall. But architects, structural engineers, the planning processes, you know, project managers, be around them sort of people. Just put this down. Sorry.
Yeah, sure, no problem at all.
Be around them sort of people, because they're the people that you are going to learn most from. You know, instructing a builder to do what he knows best. Really, the hard work's already not necessarily the hard work's already been done, but the planning stages have already been done. To give to a builder a package and say, this is what I want, and then just monitor him once a week and just learn it that way, and just say, you know, I don't think this is right, or how can I do it this way, or if I change this, what would it impact be? So if we build a wall and then the client comes to us and says, I want a doorway in there now. What's the process? What impact going to be? Whether it's financial, timescales, or anything, you know. And then they're going to tell you, they're probably not going to want to do it because they've already built the wall. Do you know what I mean? But they're going to go, well, we've got to cut and all out. We've got to put some lintels in. We've got to support it. We've got to do this. We'll take that on board. And even if you don't do that opening, you're going to know for next time whether A, you want to spend extra money, or B, I'll plan it properly to do that. And do it that way. Get amongst it. Because us builders, we love you when the plan's coming together. When you start changing the plan, it's like,
that's something builders don't like, because if customer keep on changing plan, that will waste your time. And that's a delay on the next job. Right, isn't it?
Of course, it's a knock-on effect. And somebody says to me a few years ago, around about extras, and it was literally taking a walk. We'd finished, plastered, skirting boards on, flooring in, and they said, I don't want that wall there now. And we're like, oh no.
All the time.
And he's like, well, it's extra money for you, isn't it? Well, I don't want the money. We've built it, we're proud of it, it's finished. It's not about the money, it's about, you know, having to start again. And it's sometimes it knocks you for six a little bit, because you're proud of what you've done, and it just like, is it worth the money? They want it, we'll do it because they've asked for it doing. But you know, we stand back and go, yeah, that's decent, that. You know, we're proud of that.
Yeah, it's something you've done on the team.
So another lesson for anybody, newbies or not, if you've got a plan, yes, things change, don't get me wrong, especially with renovations. Stick to your plan if you can, because it's
that's from the builder point of view.
It's demoralising. That's what it is. It's demoralising when you've done it all and then you stand back and go. We worked for a guy years and years ago. We built a very nice house, and he changed it frequently. And the guys were like, "Why are we changing this?" You know, but they were literally on a morning coming in and going, "What's getting changed today?" And it kind of got in their head that things were just going to not go to plan, so they were demoralised, and they were like not enjoying what they could have done.
Yeah, exactly.
So stick to your plan if you can. I understand things change, but try not to. If you can, definitely.
Definitely. Because once you do something that you'll appreciate as well. As a team, we have done that, and as soon as your customer comes, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Come on, no way.
Yeah, it's good. And the flip side of it as well is, we work off recommendations.
Yeah.
But if we've worked with a customer that's an absolute pain in the jacksie, and they come back to us because they're happy with what we've done, but they've been a pain, chances are we're probably going to prioritise another job over them because they're going to cause a lot of stress, headache, and changes, and delay on payment or cause an issue. Or think we'll just go to the next one, and so it's flip side on both. So from a builder's perspective, we come from recommendations, but clients also are recommended. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So okay, with the builder side, right? There's so for investor or anyone who's renovating their house, how do you recommend to make the payment to builders?
So we do stage payments. I never knew anything other than stage payments until a couple of years ago. So what we'll do, let's take an extension, for example.
Yeah.
So a typical side extension or a real single story lean-to extension.
Yeah.
For us, we get paid in stage payments. So we will start the job. We don't take deposits.
Oh, you didn't take deposits?
No, we don't take deposits. We have a contract in place.
Yeah.
We'll start on this date. This is how much it is. This is the work that we're going to do, literally to the screw that we're putting in, and then we'll stay out stage payments. So first payment is going to be this, second payment is going to be this. So on a single story lean-to extension, for example, we would do the foundations. So any demolition, pull the foundations out, pour the concrete, get a payment. Now for us, we are a bank, builders aren't banks, so we shouldn't be bankrolling a client's job. We do have borrowing facilities in place with builders merchants and things like that.
Yeah.
But the wages, things that we have to pay for on the day, like concrete and things like that, come out of our pocket initially to be paid by the client at a later stage. So I've always said we're not banks, but the first payment will always be, in our eyes, front heavy. So what it'll do is it'll cover the work that we've done.
Yeah.
And let's say half of the next stage.
Yes.
So we're paid for that,
Yeah.
and we're comfortable on that. The client's in front because the speed of what we can work at or a builder can work at tends to be, we'll get up to wall plate and the client will pay us next. Well, the money that they've covered is already up there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so stage payments, we'll do foundations and concrete pour, and then we'll do...
Do you explain to the client, so this is how the next stage is going to work?
Yes.
I know the first one, this will be done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, always. But I don't go in and go, right, this is what you're going to do. If not, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
We go in and just explain the situation. We're not a bank. You've got the funding in place.
Yeah.
It's a relationship.
Yes, exactly.
And if, you'll know from meeting the client, we always meet the client, I'll price the job up sometimes off desktop and then go have a look at the job. But before we do any work ever, we always meet the client, try and build a relationship.
Yeah.
Because, we can price 10 jobs a week and probably get 8 of them, but we only want to work with 3 of them people. Because the other lot are like, can't do with these, can't do with that. We've got to work people by people.
Yeah, exactly.
They're probably not like us,
Yeah.
we might not like them, and then on the flip side, somebody's going to really like us and we're going to really like them.
True.
So back to stage payments. So we'll do foundation, concrete pour, wall plate, prior to the roof. Roof goes on, next stage payment. And then once the roof's on, next stage payment, then we'll go internal.
Yeah.
And it'll be first fix plumbing and electrics, next stage payment. And we'll do first fix joinery, so door casing, stud walls, things like that. Next stage payment, and then so that's like pre-plaster, and then we'll do one after plastering, and then we'll do one on completion.
Right.
So we might take 4, 5, 6 payments, so it's little and often as opposed to big chunks.
Yeah.
And then clients seem to like it more because 1, they see the progress and they're paying for the progress, and 2, they're not paying massive lumps out.
Yeah.
Even on a £150,000 extension, they're only doing 20 grand lump, 25 grand lumps, 30 grand lumps. It's not like I'm taking 60, 70 grand and then worrying that the builders are going to turn up.
Yeah.
Because basically we're getting paid for what we do and it's a reward for every stage.
Right. Okay. So in that way, let's say for example you agree with the stage payment, right? How you handle if the payment is late from the client or they have some financial problem at the moment? How you can handle that? Because the situation might come.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't, because in realistic terms, the client should already have the money in place.
Exactly, yeah.
So if they're not paying, there's a reason behind they're not paying. They're not happy with it. or they're just awkward. But if there's a genuine reason or there's a late payment, it's just communication. You know, we very rarely stop a job because we haven't been paid.
Right, okay.
You know, we allow a little bit of a buffer, a week or so. But if I put an invoice in, I've already told the client, putting an invoice in on Friday, just to let you know, can you speak to the bank and we get payment on receipt? If they're no problem at all, because they're happy with everything, then you kind of know that the payment's going to get made. If it's not let's say we put it in on Friday, it's not paid by Monday, we'll address the situation and just say, that invoice never got paid on Friday, I'm really sorry, I'll do it now. Or if they're not going to pay it, you tend to know because they're hesitant in it. And then we've got to take that on board and think, right, do we carry on? Or do we, stop the job and wait for the next payment? We've been lucky in terms of payments, the very forward at coming, because we have that communication. That for that period of time when the work goes on, that family have taken you on board as part of their family. And they trust you. They trust you with the money, the house. The kids are playing around. You've got to interact with them. Even stuff like, can you move your car off the driveway? We need to put the van on. It's just communication. All communication. So if you feel there's an issue, address it. If there isn't an issue, bonus. But if you're not getting paid as a builder for 2 or 3 weeks after an invoice, stop the job. Stop the job. That's an indication. But 2 or 3 weeks later, you should be going, why haven't I been paid? You should have addressed that a week ago.
Yes, I agree.
And on the flip side, as an investor or a customer or things like that, if you're not happy with something, say it straight away. Literally straight, I'm not happy with this, the wall looks wonky, or my drive's a mess, or I need this sorting out before I pay the next payment. It'll get done like that. Instead of holding it off and waiting for an argument.
It will pile up.
Absolutely, Just address it straight away. It's just like, look, I really need this driveway cleared and there's cement all over. Yeah, of course. And if you say it in a nice way, and just say, just before I pay this next payment, can you just address these issues? We're done like that.
Exactly.
We're done like that, and there's no falling out. Communication. Communication is massive. Massive, honestly.
So with the builder side, let's say we talked about how you take payment, right? For investor, like, what's the red flag in terms of payment wise from builders? So let's say someone might ask everything up front. So what are the red flag from builder side?
Definitely, I think payment is your major thing, because if they're asking, let's say it's £30,000 renovation, they're asking 15 grand up front, then that's half of the job. They haven't even struck a bat, they haven't even gone in and ripped the job out or things like that. So that's a first red flag. Second one is, are they on time? Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing on time, on schedule? Are deliveries coming? Is the schedule of work, let's call it, on time? If it's not, it's another red flag. Why ain't it on time? Are the lads on site not able to do the job? Is there anybody turning up to do the job? Because a lot of them, they'll ask for payments like weekly or fortnightly, and then what happens is, you've got to go to the job, you've got to find out, and you're nitpicking every single thing. And if they start falling out, you're getting aggressive. That's another red flag. I'm not paying, I need my money. Well, yeah, you do, but I also need my job doing. So look for red flags in terms of financial side of things. And then secondly, if you're a hands-on investor where you go into the property a lot, messy jobs, people that don't take pride in the jobs, for me that's a red flag. Because if you come into a job, it's been ripped out, and you join us trying to walk over mounds of rubble to try and put some door frames in, then there's either a red flag because they're lazy, there's no pride in the job, or two, they've just not organised it properly, so things are tripping up. That's another red flag. We always say in our game, a tidy site's a happy site. Well, it's happy for the builders and it's happy for the client because they get to see it. And I've also found, this is a tip that for builders, is if the job is tidy, people will look less for problems. So if you've got a pile of crap everywhere and your door frame's a little bit wonky, and it's not brilliantly obvious, But because you've got a pile of crap and you're going in as a negative vibe,
they'll see problems.
They're looking for stuff. It's like, why ain't this done? Why ain't this done? Why ain't this done? Okay. You go in and the job's tidy, and stuff's stacked neatly, and they'll come in and go, oh, I didn't expect this.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant. And it's like there's a smile on the face. They're happy about it. They're walking around and they're going, oh, it looks brilliant. Yeah. The problems are still there, but they're not as obvious.
Yeah, that's covered by the good
stuff. Exactly.
Stuff.
Yeah. So again, it's a tidy site's a happy site.
That's advice for builders.
Definitely. Keep it tidy and keep on top of it.
Yeah. Cool. Another one which I have experienced myself. So builders doing the job in the middle stage, they don't turn up, and the similar issue I have found is either the kids are sick, right, van broke down. These are the two, not from one builder, from multiple. This is a similar excuse. I'm not sure what it happened or not, but this is a similar excuse I got. Like they didn't turn up today, this week. Next, what happened? Like my daughter got sick. Yeah. What happened? Van broke down. What do you want to say on that one?
So
don't tell me you are.
No, we don't. You'll tend to get excuses off one-man bands or smaller companies because they don't have somebody else to rely on. So if let's say for us, for example, if I didn't turn up because I was sick, then the team will carry my weight. If they don't turn up, I'll carry their weight. Do you know what I mean? There's always somebody to pick up the piece. Yeah, absolutely. Because the job still has to go. But the excuses that you'll get, the prime examples of what you said, is usually ones that you can't argue with. My kid's sick. Well, what are you going to say? Well, you still got to come to work. Well, my kid's sick. And then you look bad by calling them out because the kids. Yeah, the van's broke down. That's an obvious one. Well, the van's broke down. My tools are in it. I can't get to the job. And it's like that. You'll find that the excuses are ones that you really think where they pull on your heartstrings a little bit. Or they're literally excuses where they just physically can't get there. The excuses are the fact that they're an excuse. There's a reason why they ain't got there. So don't get me wrong, there's some genuine ones. If the kids, heaven forbid that the kids are poorly, fair enough. Van broke downs is one that gets used quite a lot with us. We had some plasterers and their car broke down probably once a month. But then you drive past another job and see them on that job. Yeah. They don't work with us anymore.
Is that similar? I mean, the reason why the builders, like for example, one did take so many jobs in one time.
Yeah. So we do as a rule. We might do three, 4, 5 jobs maximum, but there won't be massive jobs. There'll be a renovation, a lean-to extension, a kitchen, or something like that. Just because the reason is you take too much on, you spread yourself too thin, and then before you know it, you're letting people down. So if we're taking five jobs on, for example, I'll have a joiner in one job, a plasterer in another, a brickies in another, and ground workers in another, and that sort of scenario. So there's always an overlap.
Yeah.
So them guys will go to that and they'll move around, and it's like a big circle. Right, okay. That works perfectly. But if you're taking 4 or 5 jobs on and they're all rip out on day one, you've only got 4 lads, you're snookered, and then you're letting somebody down. So I don't personally believe, unless the team's big enough or they're growing, they should be doing stuff like that, because all they're doing is they're stretching themselves thin, they're becoming incompetent in the job, and they're getting a bad reputation.
Yeah, they're too much.
Yeah. But all they're doing is they're chasing a pound. They're chasing a pound, and before you know it, they're going to fall out with somebody because you're not going to pay because they haven't been there that week. They're going to get upset because you're on another job. Yeah. And then, you're doing 1 day there, 2 days there, 3 days there, and then working 5-6 day a week. You're going to upset somebody along the way. So as a businessman and as a company owner, you don't want to be upsetting people because your company builds off the back of your recommendations. So just take on what you can manage. If you get another member of staff, take another job on because they'll take it on. But yeah, just take on, and advice I'd say for builders, and I've been in it a long time, is take on what you can manage, under promise but over deliver.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't over pump. Don't do the opposite. Flip one.
Yeah. Don't tell them you're going to do everything and then not do it. Tell them you can't do it and then do it. The recommendations off of the back of that. Yeah. You look like a problem solver. They don't need to know your problems. But you can tell them after, this water pipe we're in the way, we've had to move it, don't worry about it, we've just shifted it. They're like, oh brilliant, One, it didn't cost them any money. It didn't cost us any money because we just moved the water pipe out of the way. But it's a problem that somebody will go to a customer and go, the water pipe's in the way. We need some, we need some more money, or we need to do this, we need to do that. They don't care. Your clients don't care. They just need a solution. Tell them about the solution after. If it's going to cost a lot of money, then you have to tell them up front. But to come with them with a solution. Like, let's say for example, the foundations, you've gone to 900 a metre down and you've got nowhere near decent ground. You can't continue without the client knowing, one, because it's going to cost them more money, and two, you need to go with them. Going back to what I was saying, is you need to go with the solution. So we need to dig down further. We're going to dig down to 2 metres. If we don't find clay, we're going to have to do a raft system, or we'll have to do mini piles, or this is what it's going to cost this way, this is what it's going to cost this way. They're there to make a decision. So they've got all the information in front of them, and they'll go, right, okay, I understand the problem. Well, let's go with that one because that's the cheapest option. Dig down to 2 metres, for example. Hopefully we'll hit solid ground in 1.5 metres. We'll pour concrete, and it's an extra £1,000 on, whatever it is going to be, and do it that way. But go with a problem and a solution, and then you've got, happy customers. All right, they're going to have to pay a bit extra, but they don't feel like they're getting manipulated into a situation that they shouldn't be in.
Do you know what I mean? Makes sense. That totally makes sense. And from investor point of view, right? How do you, or what do you recommend to investors how they should manage the builders? Because you don't want to be called every time from investor. What's happening? How do you advise or recommend? That's how you manage builders. So if there's 2 ways to look at it as a client investor. If you're going to project manage yourself, then you're taking on board the responsibility of babysitting all them different trades. So they have a problem, they're going to ring you, and that's your job to solve. Project management isn't easy at all. Because you need to be a problem solver. You need to come up with answers. And you need to have time.
You've got to be organised. You've got to be really organised. But as an investor or a client going into a job and not having a project manager and dealing with a builder, I would suggest that you have one company do the whole lot, because they will have an in-house project manager. Whether they know it or not, there's somebody that takes charge of that job.
Exactly.
And then if there is any issues, you pay them to sort them issues out. Unless it's going to cost, you need to know it's going to cost. I don't want to know. Give me the keys back when it's finished. This is the deal. This is how much we've agreed. Unless there's any issues, don't bother me. Give me the keys back. So there's 2 project manage yourself, or give somebody else it to project management. But don't project management if you don't know what you're doing, because what you'll do is you'll cause so many upsets for so many different trades. Because you'll just get an overlap, or you'll get a time delay. Or like for example, the joiner needs to go in and put the door frames in before the plaster comes in, but you want booked him in and he's away for 2 weeks on holiday. Everything gets put back, and you'll end up losing the plasterer or upsetting somebody. Just be organised for project management. It's not easy.
Just get someone in house everything.
Absolutely.
I think that's what I would recommend as well. If you had a whole renovation going on, instead of getting individual, get a company with everything in house.
Definitely.
That's crazy with project management.
Even more so if you're doing like you're a sourcer or something like that, and you're taking on properties that need doing up for the client, for the investor. Get some, because you can have 4, 5, 6 projects before you know it. And if you're busy project managing and you're not finding any more deals, you're not dealing with anything else, you're not building your business, you're babysitting 5, 6 jobs.
Exactly. I agree.
And you'll soon lose money. Hand over fist, you'll soon lose
more
money.
pressure.
More
pressure. Responsibility.
And to be fair, you're not as a project manager, you're only getting what, 10-12%? On a £30,000 refurb, it's only £3,000. That might take 5 months, it might take 6 months, it might take 6 weeks. You don't know until you start that job. So for, let's say for £3,000, that's a lot of pressure. You've got to have a lot of jobs on to make any money and pay your bills. As a project manager for an investor taking, so let's say you sell a deal, you take it on and you'll charge a project management fee, but hand that down to the builder, then you're making money just for guiding the builder. Perfect business, because the builder's responsibility is to do that job. So and do it that way. That's amazing. You're just getting a bonus out for every job.
Exactly. I agree. So I would like to cover a few things so that we can wrap this up. So what's the best? There are ways where property investors says this is the way to find builder. From a builder point of view, what's the best way to get a good builder?
Recommendations.
Yeah.
Always. You know, if your recommendations are too busy to come and price your jobs up, for example, check a trade's one. Social media is another.
Yeah.
Look at the work that they're doing.
Yep.
You know, they're only going to post on social media. They're only going to post the good stuff. Go out and see them. You know, like we said earlier, go see the project, see how they're getting on. Speak to the customers. Speak to the customers that they're working with now, if you can, because you're only as good as the last job.
Yeah.
I can take a future client, down to another client from 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
She'll have them making tea and cake and singing our praises. But if the project that we're on now is terrible, it don't matter what she says.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It matters what they say now. So speak to the ones that are doing, you know, literally the job now, or the one just previous. But yeah, check a trade. Recommendations is always the best, and like word of mouth and things like that. So try that.
Okay, cool, guys. So that's the advice from builder as well. How to find good builder, because they are the one of your power team.
Yes.
If they screw things, you have lined up. Maybe if you're taking a bridging loan, time is key. If you have taken investors, again, time is key, and funding wise as well. Like if the builder, let's say they stop doing the work in the middle of the job, you have paid them already.
Yeah.
Now the funding wise, you're short of the funding to renovate, to cover the remaining.
Yeah. Can I, one for you then, Nick, is what would you do in that situation? So let's say you had an investor.
Yeah.
You bought the house. The investor bought the house. You bought it for him, whatever. And then you're doing a renovation, and the investor pays you £30,000 up front. You put it in a client account or something like that. The builder's 6 weeks into a 15-week job, and then decide not to come back, and they've got £3,000 of your money, and they just don't come back, and the job stops. What would you do?
That happened.
Right, okay.
Electrician. What happened was, electrician did the wiring. The first, that wasn't even completed. So what happened? He took the money from the previous client. So now he had to go to court for the cases.
Right.
Now, when I get the new electrician, he said I cannot continue because I don't know which wire is where.
Yep.
If I want to do the job, I want to do everything renew. And it's very hard for me to explain investor because they have no idea.
Yep.
All the thing is, everything will happen, boom, 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 that's done. And I'll try to explain them, okay, look, it's not like that. This is what's going to happen, right? And we're going to figure out, like, if we're going to put more funding, or I'll figure out, because now that's my responsibility. I take the responsibility and I put more funding in from my side as well. That's the only option you have.
So you paid it out of your own pocket to make sure it works.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, that, because it shows you a decent person. Because you can't go. The investor doesn't really care if there's a problem.
Exactly.
They just want the keys back and then passive income or whatever it is at the end. For you to put your own money in to finish the job, it shows credibility and accountability. And then at the end of it, that client's going to come back to you again and buy another one.
Yeah. With the renovation, I had a few issues, but I never ever asked investor to put more money. What I've said is, look, this happened. It will delay our time.
Yes.
But I'll do the funding because I take the responsibility that happened because I got that builder. Because I gave the job and I'll take the responsibility.
That's honourable.
Yeah, but it's because the investor will think that another money, so that will break the relation. If you know what I mean. So,
definitely. Building relationships, they'll come back. Give them problems, they're not going to come back, are they?
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's how I manage, and I would recommend as well. Unless if you have no funding, then you have to be up from investors.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that project completion is priority.
Yeah. Like you say, especially if the cash investors, it's not as intense, but if they're in bridging, let's say your Sparky disappeared and it took you 2 weeks to find one, and then one came and it's got to start again. It's another week's worth of work. That's 3 weeks, which delays everybody else. So then 3 weeks become 6 weeks, and then you finalise. It might become 10 weeks overall. When you're bridging, that's a bloody lot of money, especially if your bridging's tight and you've only done 6 months worth of bridging or 9 months worth of bridging. You're coming up to it. It's crazy,
100%,
isn't it?
And what I would like to say is, if you have investors, just give them best case scenario and give them worst case scenario.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to share from my experience as well. If you just give the best case scenario, that's what gonna expect from you.
Yes.
So let's say, if we don't cover this project, don't do this project in 6 months. Let's say if this takes 10 or 12 months, you have to give them this scenario as well.
Yeah.
So that they are aware. This is something I have learned because they are new investors.
Yeah.
Unless if they have been working with different investors, property investors, that they can understand. if you're taking money from new investors, then you have to be upfront.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, because they need to learn that it's not straightforward. Definitely.
Yeah.
And like you say, if you're over-promising and under-delivering, they're just going to use you once and go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So it's relationship building again. But yeah, be honest, if you know for a fact that you can have that project done in 6 months, tell them it's going to be done in 9 months, give them the keys back in 6 months, they're going to think you're brilliant.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because you know, like I said earlier, you know, you've under promised and over delivered. Definitely. But yeah, it's always a lesson.
Yeah.
We got a labourer. We had a labourer work for us, and he had a tattoo on his neck.
Yeah.
A guy called Josh, and on his neck it said, "Always a lesson, never a failure."
Okay.
And I swear by it to this day. If you're gonna mess up, it's a lesson, not a failure.
Unless if you quit.
Unless you quit. Yeah. If you quit, then you're a quitter anyway. Aren't you? It's as simple as that. You're a born failure if you're going to quit everything.
Exactly.
But take it as a lesson and not a failure.
It depends on the lens you are looking at. Yeah. If you take it lesson, there's opportunity to grow and learn, right? Yeah. If you take, I cannot do anything, I'll just keep on failing, then that's an indication.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, it's a very good point.
That's it, guys. So that was a really good conversation with Kevin. Thank you so much again for your time and your valuable lesson and experience, what you said. I hope this will help us, all our viewers. And if you have any question or if you need help from Kevin himself, I'll put the link down of his social media. You can direct connect with him, and he's a really good guy. He will definitely answer and help you out. And once again, Kevin, thank you very much for coming down. I really appreciate your time, mate.
Love it.
Had a really good time.